Hello and welcome to the Degeneration Podcast. It's just me tonight, baby. Me and you, listener, out there in the world. Want to hear some stories from a misbegotten childhood? Or maybe want to hear some semi-recent poetry? Maybe you want to at least blend a blend of them together to really bring you to a boil. Well, strap in and strap it on as I'm coming in. But first, if you'd like to be a patron, a supporter, if you will, of Degeneration Podcast, please check out patreon.com/degeneration. It's Patreon for patreon.com/degeneration. You can donate at any level, support, if you will, whatever terminology you'd like to use. It involves the transference of a small modicum amount of money from you into our pity account that we want to build, and so we can pay our co-stars, our co-hosts, our collaborators what they're worth. So all it takes is you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and all of Tunisia. All right, here we go. So I got some poetry for you. Again, this is we're picking up where we were at last episode about hybrid creatures. Now this whole collection came from, originally sourced from an idea I had while I was sitting on a bed with a girl that I had been seeing, and I just drew something on a piece of scrap of paper or a napkin or something with a pen that was on her nightstand or in my backpack or some magical place. And I drew a dinocorn, which is half dinosaur, half unicorn. I'm not going to read that one because it's sad. Because life is sad. Anyways, here is, well, let's see, what am I going to, I read you a lot of fucked up stuff here. We're not going with Tuggle because we already read that. Cannibal Ant's been explored somewhere. We are going to jump in at dun 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 polar hair. I'll do two of these. So I first performed polar hair live tonight on this show right now as this is happening. This is polar hair. Cower before the polar hair, 10 feet tall, and he don't care about your ego stroke expedition into his frigid, forgotten land. He has a taste, a hunger for sinewy human flesh. Do not approach his turf unless you are ready to die. Are you? Polar hair will knock you out and drag you to his lair, and you will come to just in time to witness the daily polar hair gangbang. Massive snow-white monsters mashing and grinding, sucking and fucking, coming and growling. Turbo rabbit strokes with a bear's ferocity. Growl! The exit to the cave blocked by a polar hair thriving off its double penetration. And instantly you know that when her non-monogamous lovers finish inside of her, that each lover will pass out immediately, their drained bodies blockading the mouth of the cave. No escape. The polar hair brings you here to show how fucking alive he and his brethren are. A frightening fuckfest before your last moment on Earth, when the claws slash and the teeth shred and your bones shatter and everything, even your soul, dies. Oh God, Jesus Christ! This is why I'm not equipped to work temp jobs anymore, because I write things like this at temp jobs. You know, that's just what's up. That's just what's up. Blaspheming Mantis. I have an acquaintance that drew. I commissioned him actually to draw a blaspheming mantis for me to accompany me, and I'll try to track it down because I now own the rights. Blaspheming Mantis curses and growls and hunts for a lover to crush in her jowls. Her language is foul, her mood always sour. She'll fuck you for a minute and eat you in an hour. A creature of God? She don't make the connection between Jesus the man and that alleged resurrection. She says she's agnostic, but it's just to fit in. She's really a Satanist who can't quite commit. But she laughs at the Bible and the stories within, even the apple and original sin. She drives a Ferrari when she's cruising for dudes. She'll devour your whole, even your pubes. We'll keep getting swindled. After all, we're just men, descended from God, just trying to get it in. Body full of fuckboys, she'll kneel to the ground and pay tribute to Satan. No soul to be found. You know what? I'm feeling like you guys deserve another one too. Because I'm in charge. It's my show. I don't really care what you think, actually. Butterworm. This one's pretty simple. This is a fucking worm. Butter hybrid. Very clever. God, this was a dark period. Butterworm, a special treat for birds to eat, and so she stays underground where she lives alone under dirt and stone and works on her dissertation about slavish working conditions and the dark underbelly of globalization. Butterworms crawl and butterworms fall in love so deep it strangles. Butterworms are too smart to be happy, lost in abstract thought. They slither back and forth, crippled by anxiety, resisting the urge to lurch toward the surface, where the sun can mercifully melt them, and the rats and cats and bats can gobble up the resulting goo. Butterworm. Wow, that's nice. So the original collection, which I think I want to expand upon, is 25 poems, and I ordered them in in my estimation, where lightest to absolute darkest, which was Tuggle Buggle. I would read that again, but I try not to knowingly repeat stuff on the podcast. But if you email us at degeneratenation@gmail.com, I will email a copy of the poem back to you. And you can feel free to go on iTunes or wherever it is you find this podcast. It's a wonderful program, sanctioned by the heavens. You can give us a rating. And I'm not pressuring you to give a 5 or even a 4. Be honest with yourself. Because who else do you have to face in this world at the end? All right. So I'm going to jump right into my story, Galactic Warriors. We left off at the start of chapter 5. I'll give a quick refresher for those who missed it. Okay. So Galactic Warriors is the story of a ragtag bunch of animals or creatures or whatever, and a computer, they'll know it all, that are going to take on this evil kid called, what's his fucking name? You'll find out. What's his fucking name? God damn it. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, it's, Whiz Kid. Very clever. So they're gonna go on a game show against WizKid, Know It All is, and they had to pay for it by going to a gambling house. So I wrote this when I was 11, maybe 12, and I has gambling as a subplot. So I was already like kind of a degenerate at that point, and so we'll just dive right in. All right, chapter 5. By the time the Galactic Warriors got to the weapons store, it was 11:45, and the game show was scheduled to start at 12 o'clock noon. They bought 5 laser cannons, 5 laser guns, 5 bazookas, 25 laser grenades, and 10 smoke bombs. Oh. That brings up a total of 575 galactoids, said the cashier man. So they gave the man 575 galactoids, made a beeline for home, loaded up the ships, put tracking devices on Know-It-All and Frosty, and sent them on their way. Frosty and Know-It-All made it just in the nick of time. Know-It-All put his uniform on, and Frosty went backstage so he could watch the game show behind the curtain. Know-It-All, WizKid, and Fred Johnson, the game show host, took their places on the stage. Hi, I'm Fred Johnson, and this is Brainbuster! Let's meet today's contestants. On the left side of the arena, dressed in blue, we have Know-It-All, the computer. And on the left side of the arena, dressed in red, we have WizKid, the president of Eggnog. Okay, now for our first question. For 100 galactoids, who is the current emperor of Crouton? Fuck. Mr. Tomato answered Know-It-All. Correct. For 100 galactoids. Question number 2. What is 500 times 15? 7,500, replied Know-It-All. Correct again, Know-It-All. You now have 200 galactoids. Now for question number 3, you get to pick the category. If you answer this question correctly, you will get 1,000 galactoids. If you miss this question, WizKid will get 1,000 galactoids. Ooh, okay. Know-It-All, pick the category. Television, said Know-It-All. For 1,000 galactoids, name the TV show and the year when this program had the worst TV rating ever. Galactic Goofball and 2225, answered Know-It-All. Correct! And that's the end of the first round with the score. Know-It-All, 1,200. WizKid, 0. Okay, contestants. In round 2, the points will double and the questions will be harder. Now, here's question number 1. If x is 6 and y is 13 times more than x, what is x plus y? What the fuck? Again, I was 11 or 12. I think this is the right answer, but 84, answered Know-It-All. Correct, for 200 galactoids. Now for the next question. If the record low temperature on Crouton is minus 698 degrees, and the second highest is 10 times higher than the lowest, what is the second highest temperature on Crouton to the nearest hundredth? Minus 70 degrees, answered Know-It-All. We'll just go with that, right, guys? That's not in this thing. That's just my side commentary. I should use a different voice for it. Correct again, Know-It-All. You now have 1,600 galactoids. Question number 3 is up for grabs. For 2,000 galactoids, if M is 7 and Q is 18, what is B? I don't know, answered WizKid. Correct, WizKid. That answer is correct because there is no answer to that question. It's impossible. Beep. That sound means it's the end of round 2. For the last question of the game, you will have to wager. You will have 15 seconds to write down your wager. 15 seconds later, the buzzer sounded. Okay, WizKid, how much did you wager? 1999 galactoids, answered WizKid. And how much did you wager, Know-It-All? 1599 galactoids, answered Know-It-All. Okay, for our last question, you have 20 seconds to answer. For however much you wager, what is the square root of 121 times 10 divided by 5? I think this is fucking ridiculous. All right. After 20 seconds, the contestants were ready with their final answers. What was your answer, Know-It-All? 22, answered Know-It-All. Correct, Know-It-All. That brings your total amount of galactoids to 3199. Unless WizKid came up with the same answer as you, you will be our winner. Okay, WizKid, what was your answer? I don't know, shouted WizKid as loud as he could. I'm sorry, WizKid. That is incorrect. Therefore, Know-It-All is our winner. Bob, tell us what he's won. Know-It-All, you and 4 lucky friends have won a free trip to the Crouton Adventure Park. You have also won 3,199 galactoids and a free pass to the Galactic Gambling House. Oh, God, are they going back to the gambling house? Oh, and here comes my cat. This is fucking great. Kitty, come here, baby. Come here, we're reading a story from my childhood way before you knew me. I wasn't a cat person then, and now I'm a cat person. Yes, kitty. Okay, she's going away. And WizKid, you have won absolutely nothing. Bob, tell us what happens to losers on Brainbuster. They get slimed, replied Bob. On the count of 3, WizKid will get totally slimed. 1, 2, 3, kersplat. Doesn't that look good? Audience, What do you think? Not! Shouted the crowd. That's disgusting. We'll see you next time on Brainbuster. But until then, use your brain. So yeah, there's a picture of the Brainbuster slime machine. And it looks like he's being waterboarded because I can't draw texture, perspective, or anything like that. So it looks like he's laying down on a square. But I think he's in a chair. And it's just slime circles just from 4 angles going. And it was fast, medium, and slow. And it was going on fast. And they're just fucking giving him bukkake, basically. Slime bukkake. Slime bukkake. Yep-a-da-da. And there's another picture there. Alrighty. We're going to do one more chapter, I think. Maybe 2 more. What do you guys think? Oh, it's not an interactive show. No one ever emails. Oh, God. So I'm just reading childhood stories. That's fine. Someday. Chapter 6. After the game show, WizKid and Know-It-All went behind the curtains to give their uniforms back. While WizKid went in the dressing room to change, Know-It-All met up with Frosty the Hitman. Nice game, Know-It-All, said Frosty. Oh, it was nothing, said Know-It-All. I could see that, said Frosty. WizKid is dumb as the doornail. Thanks for the compliment, said Know-It-All. Let's forget the game show. Do you have the tracking devices? Yeah, answered Frosty. They're in my pocket. Frosty was wearing a jacket. Put mine on my monitor, said Know-It-All. Okay, replied Frosty. I'll get them. Frosty took the tracking devices out of his pocket and put them on him and Know-It-All. All right, said Frosty, let's do it. A couple of minutes later, WizKid came out of the dressing room. Him and his chauffeur were about to leave, and Frosty and Know-It-All were ready to follow them. Come on, Winston, said WizKid. Let's go back to my mansion. Yes, master, said Winston. This isn't going to be easy, said Frosty. They might have a rearview mirror. You're right, said Know-It-All. We have to be careful. If they see us, they might blast us with a nuclear weapon. It could blow us from here to the end of the universe. Let's turn on our tracking devices, said Frosty. Maybe they're like the walkie-talkies, and we can communicate with Mike, Buzz, and Double O Squirrel. Okay, said Know-It-All. Let's try it. Know-It-All and Frosty turned in their tracking devices and pressed the red button on the front. Come in, Galactic Warriors, said Frosty. This is your captain speaking. Beam me up, Scotty. God. I never even fucking watched Star Trek. Anyways. Shut up, Frosty, said Mike. Let me guess. You don't know how to follow someone without being seen. Correct, said Frosty, still using that weird voice. Are you a genius, Scotty? Okay, I'll tell you how to follow somebody, said Mike. And he's telling him how to follow. And that I can't end there, so we're going to go another chapter. And we're on to page 29. Mike told Frosty how... Chapter 7. Mike told Frosty how to follow somebody without being seen. And then Frosty and Know-It-All went to their ship. WizKid and Winston weren't in their ship yet because they were arguing to the landlord about a parking ticket. Frosty and Know-It-All took advantage of the opportunity by putting in 2 extra traffic tracking devices that Frosty found in his jacket on WizKid's ship. After WizKid and Winston finally settled the parking ticket problem, they killed the guy. Okay. Frosty and Know-It-All were prepared to start their mission. As Winston and WizKid beamed into hyper... I can't fucking read. Channeling my inner will here. As Winston and WizKid beamed into hyperspace, Frosty and Know-It-All started off slowly. They only went 300 miles per hour. When WizKid and Winston were halfway to Eggnog, Frosty and Know-It-All used Know-It-All's tracking software. Excuse my corny joke. Okay. They decided to beam into hyperspace. 2. 30 minutes later, they were in Eggnog, but they had one problem, landing without being seen. The only place they could find was Fred's fast food restaurant. They turned on the theft prevention force field and got out of the ship. It was a long walk to WizKid's mansion, and if it was dark on Eggnog. For Frosty and Know-It-All, that's good and bad. The bad part is that it's hard to see where you're going. The good part is nobody can see you. Do do do. Okay, where was I? After 20 minutes, Frosty and Know-It-All still hadn't gotten to the good part yet. They had knocked over more trash cans than Oscar the Grouch could ever live in. Aren't I a comedian? In parentheses is what I wrote. No, I'm not. 10 minutes later, Frosty and Know-It-All finally reached WizKid's property line, looking even worse than Hillary and her wig on a good day. Ba-dong ching. Oh my god, a Hillary Clinton joke? I wonder when, I'm sure it was like totally independent and not influenced by family politics or anything like that. If they didn't fall down because of being so beat up, they would have been caught by the spotlights flashing around. Oh, great, spotlights, said Frosty. It could be worse than Know-It-All. He could have a dog. Roof, roof. Ah! The two shouted. Save us, Lord, we didn't do anything. And at that moment, as if in answer to their cry, Buzz, Mike, and Double O Squirrel came walking up the driveway. As the dog was about to tear Frosty and Know-It-All to shreds, Buzz flew over to the big, hairy, slobbery mutt and stung him in the butt. I think Buzz is a bee or some shit. Oh, I didn't make that clear because I'm great. What happened to you two? Asked Mike. The dark did, Frosty answered without even moving. You guys didn't bring a flashlight? Asked Mike, laughing out loud. I knew we forgot something, said Know-It-All. Enough about that, said Mike. Let's go up on the roof. So the Galactic Warriors climbed up on the roof with ease. And there they planned their next move. They decided that going down the chimney would be the easiest, all except Frosty. Frosty, said Mike, you're going first. No way, said Frosty. I'm too fat. Santa Claus did it, said Mike. So can you. Shut up, said Frosty. I'll do it, said Double O Squirrel. I'm the smallest, and I think I have a rope in my briefcase. Okay, said Mike. We'll lower you down. Mike and the gang lowered Double O Squirrel down the chimney, and Double O Squirrel hid behind a chair. They did the same thing with everyone but Frosty and Buzz. Double O Squirrel, Mike, and Know-It-All had to switch their hiding space to behind a couch so they wouldn't be caught. Then, when the coast was clear, Frosty climbed off the roof and blasted open a window. Frosty jumped through the window and landed on a bed, which he hid under. Winston, said WizKid, could you get me my slippers, please? They're under my bed. This is the first typo I've actually seen. I used there, T-H-E-R-E, instead of there. Like T-H-E-Y, apostrophe R-E, under the bed. Yes, master, said Winston. Oh, crap, said Frosty. Fuck it, I'm going to end on an oh, crap. I'm going to give you one more poem, though. So basically, that is the start of page 34. And it goes a ways. It goes to 60. So every time I'm alone on the show, you're going to get a glimpse inside my childlike mind with gambling houses and such. Because that's just how I roll. But how I rolled in 16 when I wrote these fucking weird-ass poems is a little different. Oh, God, it's fucking frozen up. Hold on a second. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. There we go. Okay, so you heard a few of these. I'm gonna find one last one. Fuck it, I'm doing Cannibal Land. I know at probably some point I've done it before, right? But I didn't know which one that was. If you point it out to me, I will make out with your face. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I'll fly to you and make out with your face and your mouth for pointing that out, for being a loyal listener, knowing all the back catalog. If you'd like to buy the back catalog and do whatever you wish, and I'll no longer have any access to it, name your price. DegenerateNation@gmail.com. But maybe you become a patron of whatever my next project will be. More astounding performance art. Eat your heart out, Bill Burr, master of the solo cast, coming for you. Oh yeah. All right. So I did this. We're gonna shut down here with this poem called Cannibal Ant. I did this at my first and only open mic. I am looking forward to doing one when the world opens again. In the meantime, though, we are gonna have a Twitch account, and I will get to that. If you have any questions about our Twitch account, just shoot us a message on Facebook, Degenerate Nation at Facebook, or Degenerate Nation Podcast on Facebook. Tweet us at Degenerate Show, or email degeneration@gmail.com, and we'll take care of that for you, that Twitch information, okay? Coming at you live very soon. All right. Oh, my voice. It's fading. I'm going to sound like this. I'm going to do some type of dramatic voice for Cannibal Ant. Here we go. Cannibal Ant interlopes in your young daughter's ant farm amongst his innocent, dutiful brother and sister ants who would never, ever eat their own kind. But Cannibal Ant feasts while your daughter sleeps and dreams of touring with Adele. Rip, tear, thrash while your daughter sleeps. Gnash, gnash, gnash while your daughter sleeps. Gulp, gulp, gulp while your daughter sleeps. And each morning, more of her ants have disappeared. Cannibal Ants eat its wholesome brethren alive from asshole to antennae, leaving no trace of his victims. As the farm's remaining population work themselves to delirious exhaustion by an unseen and perhaps imagined queen, Cannibal Ant works his sinister meals off all day, blending in with his dwindling family. Move the sand, move the sand, move the fucking sand. His metabolism supplants his nightly feasting. One would never call him plump. And tasting the blood, the flesh of your own kind gives you immeasurable strength and insatiable vitality. And your daughter starts to notice and says, "Mommy, where are my ants going?" But Mummy doesn't know. Mummy never knows, and Cannibal Ant devours without remorse. Your sweet little girl starts to think her ants are disappearing because she is a sinner, because original sin, because Jesus on the cross, the first gruesome depiction of death, our younglings see every week in their nicest dress. So your lovely daughter decides to stay up all night, like she's waiting for Santa, and Cannibal Ant hobbles toward the glass, staring her down. Cannibal Ant smirks, turns his back on her, contracts his jaw to prepare for his feast. 27 brothers and sisters left, and they will all die tonight, and your little girl will witness the horror, and she cries, cries, cries in the face of bloodless death, of senseless carnage, for Cannibal Ant's hunger is never sated, and she cries, 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 but Mummy's asleep, and you're away on business. And severed antennae are all that is left of the gift you bought her when she lost her first tooth, and your daughter will never tour with Adele. There. That was Cannibal Ant. I'm not going to poetry snap my own self, but I am going to go masturbate now. Good night.